Not that long ago, my daughter and I attended an event where we both just happened to leave our cell phones in our respective cars. This bothered my daughter. She mentioned it 2 or 3 times. I could tell it was creating some anxiety for her, and I realized she could use some reassurance from somebody of my generation. Honey, I grew up without cell phones. I can't tell you how today will unfold, but I can pretty much guarantee by the end of it, everything will be just fine. Her response surprised me. No. I've seen all those movies in the 90s, and you guys were always lost and stranded and looking for help. And I realized she was right. That's what the 90s were like. Her comment made me think back of a time that I took my 2 kids with a friend and her daughter to participate in the Capital 10,000. For those of you not from Austin, the Capital 10,000 is a 6-mile race through the center of the city. We were super strategic about parking. We took 2 cars. We parked one at the finish line so we would have a ride home, and then we drove to the starting point. The race starts, we take off, everything's great until about mile 1 when I realized, oh no, I have forgotten the key to the car at the end of the race in the car at the beginning of the race. My friend and I talk, and we decide she would stay with the kids, I would turn around and run back and grab the key. So I turn around and I face 10,000 people coming in my direction. I am fighting through the crowd when an onlooker begins to yell at me. No, you're going the wrong way. The race goes that way. I make it back to the car, I grab the key, I turn around. The place is deserted. The very last group of the entire race is a half a mile in front of me. I have no choice. I just have to run as fast as I can to catch up. And despite the fact that it's deserted, as I begin to run, one lone person begins cheering for me. You can do this, dig deep. Go, Mary. And I thought, wait, how does this guy know my name? I look up to see a man that I'd gone to high school with decades before. I hadn't seen him since, and I realized, what does this look like from his perspective? From his perspective, in a race of 22,000 people, I'm in last place. It's all I can do to resist the urge to run over and explain what happened, but I don't. I push forward, I'm running as fast as I can, quickly discover there is a truck following me on my heels. I turn around at City of Austin truck, it's a crew. They're picking up those orange cones that have created the route for the race. And I realized this guy can only drive as fast as I'm running. Which must have been frustrating because quickly he pulls to my side, his window's down, he's smoking a cigarette. He goes, hey, do you want to ride to the race? Yes, that's what I want. And that's how I met back up with my kids and my friend. When I think back on that comment of my daughter, you guys were always lost and stranded and looking for help in the 90s. And I thought she was right. That day, I ended up in the back of a pickup of a complete stranger. But I was right too. At the end of the day, everything was just fine.